হচ্ছে আমার 4টের সময় ছুটি।
Either the police commissioner will have to come here, or the police will have to let us march to him. We will keep protesting till that happens, no matter how long. 24 hours, 48 or 72 hours, however long it takes. We are doctors and are used to long hours in the operation theatres without food or sleep. So we will stay here till our demands are met.
Visiting New Zealand just got more expensive. The government announced Tuesday it will nearly triple entry fees for tourists to $100 New Zealand dollars or $62.20 US. Authorities argued it would ensure visitors contributed to public services and high-quality experiences while visiting the country. Matt Ducey is the New Zealand Minister for Tourism and Hospitality.
What we want to do is shift some of the cost from the taxpayer to the visitor, and ultimately what we want to do is grow tourism. We've got an ambitious target to double our exports as a country over the next 10 years. Tourism is our second biggest export earner.
The move hasn't gone down well with the holiday sector. New Zealand's Tourism Industry Association fears the fee will put visitors off while it recovers from the hit it took during the pandemic. Gavin Oliver is Managing Director of EcoZip Adventures.
I think we're saddened by it. It went to consultation. There were a number of levels were proposed, $50, $70 and $100, and we advocated for 50. We felt there should be an increase, but this is a very, very significant increase at a time when the tourism sector is struggling to recover post-COVID.
An original $35 New Zealand dollar fee was introduced in July 2019, but hasn't proven enough to cover costs associated with so many visitors. New Zealand has struggled with the impact of tourists on the natural environment and with infrastructure stretched by the large numbers. The government said the new fee was competitive and it was confident the country would remain an attractive destination. Official data released earlier Tuesday showed travel export receipts for the year ended June 30th were around $9 billion US. That's down 5% from before the pandemic. Data also showed visitor numbers are roughly 80% of levels before the pandemic border closures.
This is the aftermath of what Democratic Republic of Congo's government says was an attempted prison break in which at least 129 people died. The incident took place in the early hours of Monday morning at the Makala Central Prison in the capital Kinshasa. That's according to Interior Minister Jacquemain Shabani-Luku, who said there had been loss of life and significant material damage.
The provisional human toll stands at 129 dead, including 24 by gunshot after being given a warning. The others died by jostling, suffocation, and some women were raped. The Commission has also identified 59 injured, currently being cared for by the government for appropriate medical care.
Early on Tuesday, Luku also reported that a fire had broken out in the jail's administrative building, food depots, and a hospital. Prisoners told Reuters they had heard heavy gunfire as well as the sound of inmates outside. Earlier, a prison official had said that no prisoners had succeeded in escaping, adding that those who tried to escape had been killed. The government has said the situation is now under control and that it is investigating.
No.
U.S. President Joe Biden said on Monday that Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu was not doing enough to get a deal for the release of hostages held in Gaza by Hamas. Over the weekend, Israeli forces recovered the bodies of 6 hostages from a tunnel in Gaza. Among them, 23-year-old American-Israeli Hirsch Goldberg Polin. Israel's military said they had been killed recently by Palestinian Hamas militants. The developments have sparked criticism of the Biden administration's Gaza ceasefire strategy. Meanwhile, Israelis are also ramping up pressure on Netanyahu. protesters took to the streets again on Monday, staying out late into the night in Tel Aviv.
The pressure internationally must be directed at these killers, at Hamas, not at Israel.
Netanyahu appeared to push back when asked about Biden's comments.
We're asked to make concessions? What message does this send Hamas? It says, kill more hostages, murder more hostages, you'll get more concessions.
A senior Hamas official said Biden's criticism was, quote, American recognition that Netanyahu was responsible for undermining efforts to reach a deal. Netanyahu has accused Hamas of obstructing any agreement. Months of stop-start negotiations mediated by the U.S., Qatar, and Egypt have so far failed to reach an accord on a proposal laid out by Biden in May. On Monday, he said the U.S. was close to presenting a final proposal to negotiators.
We're very close to that.
When asked if a deal would be successful, Biden said he was not giving up.
Yesterday, the second day, 74,346 children were vaccinated. That's the second day of the polio campaign. The first day, 86,683 children were vaccinated. So the total number of the first 2 days, children under 10, reached 161,030 children. That actually surpassed the target we'd set. We had an estimate there would be like 156,500 children in this central zones. Till now, things are going well. Again, this is only the third day. So this area-specific humanitarian policies, until now, they work. So we need to vaccinate 640,000 children all over Gaza. Yeah, we do this, and this campaign there's actually two campaigns. We started now the first round, and the second round will be in 4 weeks' time. We need to cover minimum of 90% of those children to stop the transmission within Gaza and to avoid polio spread, international spread to polio to surrounding countries.
A rift has grown among policymakers at the European Central Bank, according to sources. They disagree on the outlook for growth, with some fearing a recession, while others focus on inflation pressures. It adds a tense backdrop to a rate cut debate due over the coming months. The ECB cut interest rates in June and is almost certain to do so again in September. But sources say policy decisions beyond this month are likely to be more complicated as the Eurozone economy enters a challenging phase. The core of the debate is over how weakness in economic growth and a potential recession will hit inflation, which the central bank aims to cut to 2% by the end of next year. An ECB spokesperson declined to comment. The sources said policy doves remain in the minority and argue the economy is weaker than thought. They also believe recession risks are on the rise and the jobs market is softer. Once employment declines, so does disposable income, which hurts consumption and can lead to a downturn. They think this would suggest the central bank has been slow to cut rates. Hawks have dominated the policy debate since the start of rapid rate hikes in 2022. They argue actual growth figures persistently outperform weak survey results and the economy is holding up. In their view, consumption is robust and growth remains respectable. They also see incomes rebounding quickly and supporting the economy. They argue this builds the case for slow rate cuts, perhaps one every quarter, until the ECB is certain inflation is heading back to 2%. The sources added the rift is unlikely to impact September's policy decision since there is widespread consensus to cut rates. Inflation fell to 2.2% in August, but is forecast to rise again towards the end of the year.
Volkswagen could close factories in Germany for the first time in its history. And that's a sign of just how much pressure Europe's top car maker faces from new Asian rivals. The company's Works Council has vowed to fiercely oppose any such move. It says VW has identified one large vehicle plant and one component factory as obsolete. The move will mark the first big clash with the unions for Chief Executive Oliver Blume, who had been seen as more of a consensus builder. He has told management that factors including a difficult economic environment and new Asian rivals demand action. The company has seen a sharp loss of market share in China, where it is struggling to compete with local players like BYD. All that has seen VW shares lose around a third of their value over the past 5 years. But the company employs some 680,000 workers and is a symbol of German industry, making it politically charged. The last time it tried to make major changes, back in 2022, the moves were defeated by the powerful IG Metall union. Now its new plans will be a worry for German Chancellor Olaf Scholz and his coalition government, already under pressure after losing a regional election to far-right rivals over the weekend. So far, the Economy Ministry has called on VW to act responsibly, but declined to comment on the planned cuts. On Wednesday, top executives are expected to address the Works Council over the possible changes. Council head Daniela Carvalho promised it would be a very uncomfortable meeting for the firm's management.
Has always been open about her close bond with her children. However, tensions with her eldest son, Mason Disick, surfaced in season 5 of The Kardashians. Despite growing up in the public eye and becoming a mother of 4, Kourtney's kids, including Mason, seem uneasy with the reality TV lifestyle, even as she enjoys her marriage to Travis Barker. In season 5 of The Kardashians, Kourtney Kardashian revealed that her son Mason skipped a family trip to Australia to spend time with his dad, Scott Disick. Fans have noticed Mason's absence from recent episodes and Kourtney's social media, sparking speculation about tension. Though Mason attended Kourtney and Travis Barker's wedding, he wasn't shown on camera. A source told Life in Style that Mason has moved in with Scott, leaving Kourtney heartbroken but supportive. The source also mentioned that Kourtney's stricter parenting style might have influenced Mason's decision. The source explained that at Scott Disick's house, the kids can eat junk food, stay up late, and watch whatever they want, unlike Kourtney's strict vegan and gluten-free lifestyle. Scott also spoils them with whatever they ask for, making his home a favorite. At 14, Mason likely prefers spending time with friends over filming with his family. While Kourtney is heartbroken by his decision, the Kardashian-Jenner clan always finds a way to reconnect. Mason isn't the only child in the family with issues with his mom. In an episode, Kourtney and Travis shared a few kisses, prompting Reign to say, "Mom, stop making out with Travis, bro. Didn't you just have a baby? Don't get another one this quick." Kourtney found it amusing and expressed in a confessional that she believes it's beautiful for her kids to see her in a loving relationship. However, Reign wasn't impressed, even asking Travis if he was giving Kourtney a hickey, which the couple denied, saying it was just a gentle kiss. Fans are divided over Reign's reaction. Some found it endearing, while others were surprised a 9-year-old knew about hickeys. Despite Reign's discomfort with public affection and Mason's desire for privacy, Kourtney has shared on social media that her kids are close with Travis. They've built a strong blended family, traveling together for his tours and enjoying family vacations.
Thank God, I'm happy that I vaccinated my children against polio so they don't suffer from anything in the future, God willing. Hopefully all Gazan children get vaccinated, not only against polio, but with other vaccinations too. But I gave birth during the war, and here she is, living through the war too. When I gave birth to her during the war, I was worried if I will vaccinate her. At 1 month, at 1 week, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, and where? Where should I go to vaccinate her? We don't just want vaccinations, we want them to stop the war. Let them stop the war. Every time I get displaced, this is our biggest worry, especially for those who have children. When I flee and move, I would be so worried. It's better for me to die than to keep moving from area to area. I've been displaced 7 times.